So everyone, it's DomisLive and welcome to DomisLive News. Hope you guys are doing good today. So this is the story, man, and this was pretty crazy, and this was going to be something that's going to be taking place throughout this year because the NFL season doesn't end until what, November, December, I don't know, somewhere around there. But anyway, Colin Kaepernick refused to stand for the national anthem. Now this is crazy. This is definitely crazy because me growing up as a kid, when I played football, sometimes I would drop a tear during the national anthem. Or if I was watching it on television, it would make me emotional. And some people aren't affected by it. And some people are affected by it. Now, the reason I was affected is because I thought about all the people who came before me and gave their life. There's people that literally died for me to be able to make YouTube videos. So this is what Colin Kaepernick had to say about him during the national anthem. And he says this: "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave, getting away with murder. And this is not something that I'm going to run by anybody. I am not looking for approval. I have to stand up for the people that are oppressed. If they take football away, my endorsements for me, I know that I stood up for what's right." All right, so let me give you guys my thoughts on the situation. Let's talk about the sponsorship thing because them shit's gone. You might as well just kiss them shits goodbye. Like it's over. Now, right now, Colin Kaepernick barely has his foot in the NFL. He's had a few bad seasons, and people are not looking at him the way they were looking at him when he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Now you add this onto the fire, like you're really pouring that gasoline. Honestly, I thought this guy was already traded from the 49ers. They're about to get him up out of there. Maybe the 49ers are a little bit more accepting of the situation, who knows? But there's going to be a lot of teams out there that are not going to touch Colin if he doesn't perform on the field. Now, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that are able to, sit on these teams and just sit on the bench and stuff, and they're backup quarterbacks. And these dudes are trash. But when you have this cloud over you, this negativity that's going to rain down on him, teams don't want that. Especially when you're the backup. If you're the backup and we got to answer questions about race and this and that, like, nah, we're not letting this guy on the team. Get him up out of here. So at this point, I could honestly see him blackballed from the NFL. If he has a bad season, it's pretty much over. He'll get one more try and he's just out of the NFL. To a certain extent, you got to give someone like this props because they're putting on the line everything that they believe in. They're putting that on the line for them standing up for their own beliefs, whether you believe those beliefs are right or wrong. And there's some people out there that are going to say that whites are killed more by police than blacks. And yes, that is definitely true. But also keep in mind that whites make up, 60-70% of the population, while blacks only make up 13%. So of course, more whites are going to be killed by the police, but stats show that blacks are more likely to be killed by cops. And if you guys want to check out that link for that is going to be in the description. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that. We can talk about stats all day. We can talk about stats that show that black people are more likely to kill someone. We can also talk about stats that white men are more likely to molest a child. I mean, am I supposed to shelter my kid as soon as I walk past a white guy? Oh my God, he's going to rape you. No, we just can't live life that way. We can't do that. We can't do that at all. And I don't know, man. I'm the kind of person, I love everybody until you disrespect me. Then it's F you. I don't want to talk to you. But other than that, we're cool. When I was raised as a kid, and I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but when I was a kid, my mother taught me that I could be anything that I wanted to be. I wasn't held back because of my skin. My mom didn't say, oh, dumb, you're black, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that. No, she taught me that I can be anything that I wanted to be. And I had that in my mind. And maybe that's why I am what I am. But, you know, talking to my dad, he had different experiences. I remember one time he was like trying to tell me about white people being racist, but he experienced some other things that I didn't experience. And at that time, I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I worked at this grocery store and I was around a bunch of white people and they were cool with me. So I didn't see what he was saying. And I didn't even want to hear what he was saying. He couldn't tell me anything wrong. And at the end of the day, I feel that there is wrong in all of us. Now, what I will say is this. I have never experienced racism in the real world. But over the internet, all I see is racism. And I'm letting you guys know right now, most of the racism that I see is not from black people. It's usually a white kid. And they're just saying the N-word, this and that. And it's like, why? Why must you be so racist? But that's the only other time that I've ever experienced racism is from people over the internet. And the crazy thing is this, my own people will attack me sometimes. They'll say things like, is he black? Is he a nigga? Why are you trying to act white? I'm not trying to act white. This is just the way I speak. So I don't know, man. Like I said, the only racism I've ever experienced online was either from my own people online or white people online. Never experienced racism in real life. Maybe people were just too scared. But anyway, this is DomisLive. You guys have a great day. I felt at the end of the day, we just need to come together and just hear each other out, and maybe some of these things will be fixed. Yeah.